So the Eagles beat the Cowboys. Dallas sucks. CJ Stroud is a superhero, and the Ravens are the best team in the AFC. Let's talk about it on the Fumble Forecast. All right, welcome to the Fumble Forecast, the best NFL podcast on the entire internet, with your host, Thomas Kiker, and my co-host, Marky Mark. And today, what, Marcus?
I said hello.
Oh, nice. So, welcome in. We got a lot to talk about today. Some really good games happened, actually, in Week 9 of the NFL. But the game we're going to start with is the Eagles and Cowboys game. I feel like there were two, I feel, premier games in hindsight. Premier games this past week. There was the Buccaneers and the Texans and the Eagles-Cowboys. The Eagles-Cowboys game was both one of the most exhilarating and fun to watch games of the entire season, and also one of the hardest fucking games to watch in the entire season. Okay, so there's 15 minutes in each quarter, right? So for about 55 minutes of the entire game, I wanted to put a bullet in my forehead. It was horrible. This was one of the games where it's just like, dude, what are you doing? You don't look anything like the team you normally are. But let's get straight to the point. So I wanted to start by saying that penalty flags were flying all over the place on both sides of the ball. And the thing is, I hate the Cowboys, Dallas sucks. Even when they were thrown on the Cowboys, I was kind of like, yeah, that's kind of a bullshit call. What the fuck was that? And when they were called against the Eagles, I was also like, that's kind of a bullshit call. I don't know about that. But then on both sides, I saw actual penalties happen, and they just didn't call them. And I'm just like, what? A lot of the calls were just all over the place. Like, there was multiple pass interference calls that were called on both sides of the ball that just made absolutely no sense at all whatsoever. Same thing with pass interference non-calls. Just made no sense. Of course, the better team ended up winning, which is what is most important. But there were a couple really bad looks for the Eagles in this game. First of all, Hurts really took some fucking terrifying hits. That man got dropped on his knee like more than I've ever seen ever. It was bad. I was really worried. And as you know, his knee's already kind of fucked up. So I'm in constant fear that we're going to have Carson Wentz 2.0. It's just, as an Eagles fan, it's a weight that harbors at all times on my heart anytime I see this young man get hit. So it's scary. But also, Dak took a lot of really scary hits in this game, too. There was one hit that everybody's memeing on right now where they sent that man to the fucking moon. He was running into the end zone for a touchdown, and then he didn't get the touchdown. He got lifted up in the air and then flipped. Two players hitting him at the same time almost. It was a scary hit, landed right on his head and neck and crunched him. Terrible hit. Another thing, the Eagles' D-line has finally woken up this week. This whole season, the Eagles' D-line has just been kind of sleeping. They've been kind of geriatric, kind of, oh, it's time for medicine. Every single time that they took the field this season, with the exception of Hassan Reddick, who is always good in every game, no matter what the fuck he does. I don't know what he takes, but I need some of it. But we got 5 sacks against the Cowboys in this game this past Sunday. And honestly, that's the best defensive line performance that the Eagles have seen this entire season so far. I can't think of another game where they've had like a huge performance, a huge showing like that. However, again, another problem with the Eagles here, even though they've received 5 sacks or made 5 sacks in this game, it was all in like a quarter and a half at the end, near the end of the game, not throughout the entire game, which is concerning to me because I need them to play the whole game, not like 20 minutes of a game. It's an hour-long game. You can't just turn it off and just expect to win every week. And I have seen this as a bad trend with the Eagles that they need to correct immediately. So I actually think that the bye week couldn't have been placed at a better possible time. I think that the Eagles are starting to hit the wall where it starts talking to them, back to them. And they're starting to realize that their players are getting older, slower, and slower to recovery. The issue, I think, is that because they're so much older, they need this bye week to recover so that they can go into the rest of the season, the remainder of the 7 weeks of the season when they get back, or however many. I think it's 7. And I think that this has some pretty serious postseason implications, because if they're already this drained and looking like a brick of Swiss cheese in the middle of summer that's melting on the pavement, and we're only halfway through the season, a bye week ain't going to fix them all the way to keep them going for the rest of the season. I think that the Eagles need to win the NFC conference and get that bye week going into the postseason. Or honestly, I see them kind of wearing themselves out and going dim. Because quite frankly, the past 2 weeks, I'd say, the secondary has just been non-existent. And I think it's because they're old and tired. They're just getting older and they're getting more tired and they just need more time to jump back into it. I think that it's a serious concern for the Eagles' postseason dreams that their players are getting so geriatric so quickly, because they need some young lifeblood. Not to say that they don't have any. I mean, they have Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean, Sydney. They have Jalen Carter. They picked up a lot of young blood for linebackers, safety, and D-line, but they're going to be throwing the ball too, and quite frankly, the D-line, other than the exception of the last quarter and a half of football against the Cowboys, has not really shown me that they know what the hell they're doing out there. What about you, Mark? How do you feel?
I mean, yeah, the defense has looked really sluggish, and the age definitely is playing. I think plays a part of it in it, but
It makes a fool of us all.
But I think we also need to address the defensive coaching.
I agree with you.
I think the offensive coordinator's finally starting to hit his stride.
Yeah, he really showed some chops in this game.
It's the defensive coordinator. I don't know his
Sean
name.
Desai.
He needs to figure out exactly what the game plan is. Because
no, I think the problem is he has a game plan going in every time, and it's a bad game plan going in every time. It's okay to have a game plan or whatever, but make it a good game plan, not a shit one. I think that all right, I'm going to go ahead and give Sean Desai a free pass on this week against the Cowboys, okay? Because this man was losing players left and fucking right. I mean, you saw it yourself. Both Darius Slay and James Bradbury were on the ground and out for multiple plays throughout the game because they just kept getting winded and beat up.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give him a free pass and say that maybe he actually did not have the guys to execute his plan as well as he wanted to. So I'm going to give him a little tiny bit of a pass there, but that's no excuse for all of the weeks prior to that where you did have your players and you still couldn't make anything happen. I don't know what's going on. Honestly, my working fan theory at this point is that Nick Sirianni is finally starting to take back some of the play calling privileges on both sides of the ball because he's realizing that both of his coordinators are fucking morons. So he's just taking away their play calling privileges and actually doing it himself. He said, "Fine, I'll do it myself." He actually said, "Fine, I know what the fuck I'm doing."
And just to talk a little bit about the molding Cowboys. If you can't get
they are crying a lot.
You can't get the game in 400 yards of offense.
Honestly, true.
You had 400 yards.
Oh my god.
Offense. You had nearly, I think, almost double our passing yards, and you can't close out the game.
On. To address the molding Cowboys fans, let's just be completely real here. Cowboys fans are by far the most hated fans in the entire... everybody hates the Cowboys. It's not just the Eagles, though we hate them the most. It's not just the Giants. It's not just the Redskins. It's not just our division. Everybody thinks that they are annoying crybabies. Everybody. Everyone thinks that. And, for example, there was a play... It was originally ruled a touchdown, but upon review, it was pulled back, where the tight end's knee hit the ground short of the goal line and was stopped down there. So he didn't get the touchdown, and it was turned over to the Eagles. The Cowboys fans are actually crying right now that he was being tackled too early, and it should have been pass interference. If you think that play was pass interference, you need to seriously go back to football school. They're saying he was being tackled before the ball was in his hands. No, he wasn't. He was falling forward, and the guy was jumping to tag him.
Yeah, like by the time the ball was
use your eyeballs.
By the time the ball was even approaching him, he
like dove for it.
Yeah, he dove for it. He was already.
It ain't our fault that he doesn't have the body control to get the correct knee down first. He could have spun the other direction, but he didn't because he's a dumb and dumb.
Yeah.
Dallas sucks.
And it's like, oh, the game was rigged by the refs. Equal penalties. We lost more yards.
Yeah, we lost more yards. I was actually going to bring this point up too.
We lost more.
Same number of penalties though.
Okay, so
10 on each side, isn't it?
And then you know what? To rag just a little bit on the Eagles. We gave it to you at the end, and you couldn't complete it.
Yeah, that's true. Honestly,
we handed it to you on a silver fucking platter, and you can't fucking finish it. What do you?
Yeah.
Why are you crying? Why are you crying? Oh my god!
The Eagles. The Eagles actually did everything they possibly could to throw away this game right in the trash can, and the Cowboys still choked.
We wanted to.
It's just bizarre.
We wanted to be 2-1
honestly,
in the division, and you made us 3-0.
I hate to say this, but I actually feel bad for Dak for having to be on the Dallas Cowboys. Like, dude, I ain't gonna lie to you. Listen, I hate Dallas. Dallas sucks, but goddamn, Dak Prescott is he's playing pretty fucking good this season. I feel like if you put him on any other team, he'd be like a superstar. But he has to deal with Jerry Jones being the GM and owner of the team, and some chucklebuck coach that doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. Dude, when they were on that final drive, Mark, I don't know if you realize this or not, they ran the ball once with no timeouts left. Dallas did. Dallas ran the ball with the, 40 seconds left at the beginning of that drive when the Eagles were trying to give them the win. So I don't want to hear any crying from Dallas fans. They're just totally butthurt about this. They were talking some real big shit going into this game too, about how they're dem boys and the Eagles are their little brothers who were just jealous of them. And well, they certainly showed you who the little brother was, and that's about all I can say about that.
Yeah, it's like you really
so bad.
You could come into our house, talking shit, and not be smacked for it. We wanted to give you a little party.
It was
favor.
A gift.
We wanted to give you a little party favor as you were leaving, but you, instead of taking it, you spat it back into our face.
Yeah, it was like a bird feeding its babies.
God damn, they suck.
You got eagled.
And you know what?
Oh.
Relish this, Dallas. You have some easy ass games coming up. They do. You've probably clinched You've probably clinched a wild card slot.
Oh no, they're gonna clinch a division spot. Well, you Mark, when we clinch the conference, the second place in our division automatically clinches the division.
I see. Okay.
Like the slot for the division, I mean. Obviously, we still won the division.
Yeah, it's like, your next 3 games are Giants,
the Giants, Panthers, Commanders.
Like
vomit. Dude, I hope the Seahawks at least give them a run for their fucking money so that they can be a little tired when they come to play us.
No, when we go to play them.
Yeah, whatever. Every stadium is ours. There's no such thing as home field advantage against the Philadelphia Eagles. God, seriously though, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think that realistically losing to the Chiefs would really matter that much, like statistically and winning the conference wise. I don't think it'll matter in the big picture if we beat the Chiefs or not. But I really think that the Eagles need to beat the Chiefs just to prove a point. Just all these fuckers who are running around saying, "Oh my God, but who have you played though?" Just shut them up. Just please beat the Chiefs, or at least make it a game. Like, for real, you have to beat the Chiefs and you have to beat the 49ers. Those are my only requests for the rest of the season from the Eagles. And then we get the Christmas game, of course, against the Giants, which I want to win. I need a Christmas present. Though, to be honest with you, we might have already clinched up the division enough to the point where the last 2 or 3 games of the season, we just don't even play our starters, really. Like we're 8-1 right now. We kind of have the luxury of goofing around at the end of the season because, dude, Jalen Hurts' knee injury, it's gonna loom large as we get into the postseason. Like, dude, if he gets fucked up, Nick Sirianni's head is gonna be on a pike. You got to take him out and let him rest.
Honestly, you know what I think?
What, just rest him for the last 3 games?
I don't know about resting him for the last 3 games because 2 of them are against the Giants.
Who gives a fuck?
I know that it's the Giants. I understand.
Just who cares? It doesn't matter. Listen, let's assume that we win the next 5 games, okay? We're going to be, what, 13-1? It literally does not matter if we win those last 3 games. We clinch the conference.
I know.
Most likely.
But I wouldn't... But we don't... how do I put this? In those next 5 games, we have the Cowboys, right?
Yeah, so beat them.
Okay, but what happens if we don't?
Oh, well, then that's a different story. I just said if we win the next 5 games. Like, obviously, this hinges on clinching the conference. Like, if you're going to sit the starters, it better be mathematically impossible for another team to take the conference from you. That would just be dumb to do it any other way. But I think Jalen Hurts' knee is going to loom large. That's another reason why I think they really need to clinch the whole conference, because then they get that bye week going into the playoffs, and he can get some extra chance to rest his knee up. But honestly, I kind of want him to have a full 4 weeks of rest. Just knock everybody out for the rest of the season, and then maybe you can win the game against the Cardinals with your backup. And honestly, we could probably beat the Giants with our backup quarterback. I'm not even going to lie to you. So I say rest Hurts. If you can get away with it, rest Hurts. Because he needs it. Like, dude, I don't want... going into the playoffs, I don't want knee problems.
No, I don't.
We're going to need him to be that dual threat that we know and love.
No, I don't want that either. But
well, obviously, no one wants that unless they're playing against us, but
yeah,
it's going to be an issue. I mean, let's be real here, dude. Jalen Hurts is tough as fucking nails. He's had a bone bruise in his knee since like week 2 of the season. And he just still goes out there every single play, no matter how beat up he is, and throws the ball for touchdowns and just continues racking up yards and being a superstar. Honestly, I kind of feel like it's the coach's responsibility to jump in after a certain point and say, hey, dude, you're killing yourself. Stop it. We're putting you on the bench and resting you for a game. Like, I get that you have to win. I get it. You're not in a position where you can just throw games in the garbage. But at the same time, dude, you can't throw your quarterback in the garbage either. Though I will say, they haven't been running it as much in the past couple of games. But the tush push, we only did it twice against the Cowboys, and I think we only did it twice against the Commanders, too. Yeah. It seems to me like they are trying their best to be as knee conscious for Hurts as possible. So, I mean, there's that at least. But, dude, you can't just... What?
I'm just remembering one of the tush pushes where they got like 3 yards and
just carried them all on their back.
And Micah Parsons was just there floating.
He's crowd surfing. Yeah. All right. So what's your first point? Let's move on to our next thing. I think we've talked enough about the Dallas and Eagles game.
It's with a heavy heart that I must bring this up.
The Dolphins fucking suck.
Oh, yeah. Like, it's...
I knew you'd talk
really,
about it.
I mean, you kind of have to.
Yeah.
Like,
I see you've changed your jersey from Dolphins to Eagles because you know better now.
or this was the closest one to me. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
Like, Dolphins. A personal letter to you. I know you don't like the cold weather. I know. As a Miami native, I fucking love it. But that's me, and I know you guys don't.
They don't practice in the cold conditions. It's different.
Yeah, they really...
The ball is slipperier.
Like,
can't bend your fingers as well. Drop all of the passes that come anywhere near you.
Their 3 losses have all been cold weather games.
Oh no, is that going to be the fucking story?
No.
Come on, man. Don't.
No, that's not what I want to bring up.
Okay.
I just want to plead with the Dolphins to, like, that to continue to get better, because let's look at this last game in Germany, right? 14-21. If the Kansas City defense didn't force that fumble on Tyreek, that game is probably
overtime
tied and going into overtime, right?
Yeah, because both teams fucking sucked dick.
Yeah, both of them did. And Dolphins, I know you can be so much better than this. Jalen Ramsey, he had that insane pick against Mahomes. Like, I know you can be better. Please be better.
Yeah, it's very rare that you see a performance in a game where both quarterbacks throw for less than 200 yards.
Like,
both quarterbacks threw for less than 200 yards, and they're both supposed to be like the cannon arm quarterbacks of the league. But I'm going to be honest, and I know that the Chiefs are being kind of hush-hush about this. I think Patrick Mahomes might have some very serious health issue that he's dealing with this whole season, because he has just suddenly dropped off, and I don't know why. It's very bizarre. He's really doing much more poorly than he normally does this season. So it's really weird.
Please. I just Dolphin. Look.
Well,
you have a couple of easy games, but don't get complacent. Don't be like...
Well, here's the thing for the Dolphins moving forward. They have to win every game in their division for the rest of the season, or else they're kind of boned. I want them to please beat the Cowboys, Dolphins. Please beat the Cowboys. But I'm not gonna lie to you. I think the Cowboys are gonna roll them.
It is in Miami. Hoping.
I don't give a fuck.
I know you don't. I'm hoping.
And then they have to play the Ravens too, dude. Man, I feel bad for the Dolphins.
Like, the end of the season, like, focus on the end of the season. What do you have up next? Raiders.
Focus on ending the season.
Commanders, Titans, and Jets. You play the Jets twice.
The Bills have a much harder schedule for the rest of the season than the Dolphins do.
No, they really do. So, like,
I'm gonna give a little bit of a spoiler, because we're gonna talk about playoff predictions later. I actually think the Dolphins are still gonna pull out their division.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the Bills just, dude, I don't know if you know this or not. A quick little fun stat for you, but Josh Allen, quarterback of the Buffalo Bills, has the most interceptions of any quarterback thrown since 2020. Like, total. Like, each year he has thrown the most interceptions for the past, like, 4 years in a row or something like that. I saw it earlier. It was a crazy stat. He is a fucking interception machine. He's also a touchdown machine and a yardage machine too. But the man throws so many picks, it just gets him in trouble. The thing is, teams like the Bills and Miami as well, they do this magical thing where they play against these really dog water teams and rack up a fuck ton of points on these dog water teams. And then everybody's thinking that they're these crazy teams. They're so good. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. And then they lose 24-18 to the Bengals. The second that they play a good team, they lose 25-20 against the Jaguars. Yeah, they just keep losing against teams that are even moderately okay. They lost to the fucking Jets with Zach Wilson coming in and being the quarterback.
I don't know what to say to Buffalo fans for that.
That's just bizarre. My whole point is same problem with Miami. Every time they play a team that's even remotely decent, they get stomped. The Bills and the Dolphins simply cannot hang with the cream of the crop of the league. They just can't do it. Three weeks from now. All right, so the Eagles lost to the Bills. Dude,
oh, man.
the man is averaging at least one interception a game. Minimum.
Yeah.
It ain't cute. It's not cute. And honestly, I'm kind of starting to get a little dubious of him. Like, he's great, don't get me wrong. He's like a top 3 quarterback in football, top 3, top 5 quarterback in football. But dude, the man is throwing so many interceptions. That to me is a offensive scheme issue, and they need to give him some help with like easier reads so that he doesn't throw as many picks.
Mm-hmm.
It's just bizarre. I think that the turnovers are going to really come to bite the Bills in the fucking ass, especially when they play against a team like, the Eagles. They're going to get absolutely curbed, I think, by the Eagles. See, the thing is, there are some games that I'm worried about for the Eagles coming up in the future. Like, I'm worried about the 49ers game. I'm worried about the second Cowboys game. I'm mildly worried about the Chiefs game, mildly worried about Seahawks. Not as much as I was before this past week. But the Bills, I'm not scared. I'm just not even worried.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have every confidence that the Eagles will put them under the ground. So yeah. I don't know. The only game for the Eagles that I'm really circling for the rest of the season is the 49ers game. Please win that game. I can't take it if you lose that game. I don't want to hear the fans' mouth running. I can't do it. I can't. You need to win that game, please. I'm begging you, Eagles. But yeah, the Dolphins lost. It was pretty brutal loss. They can't hang with good teams. However, I do think that they are still going to win their division. Because the Bills also can't hang with good teams. And they're a game up on the Bills right now, so I think they'll both just rattle off the rest of the season. I actually believe that the Dolphins are seriously going to win their division by one game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Your point?
Josh Dobbs. Hero or legend? You choose on 60 Minutes. I never thought that I would see the day where the gremlin himself came out and just carried a team on his back to win. This is another playoff thing that's going to kind of shock and surprise you. I kind of think that the Vikings are going to win their division now. The Lions, they let them catch up in the rearview mirror, and now the Lions are only a game up on the Vikings. The Vikings have a 4-win streak. Pretty impressive. They're getting hot at all of the right time. And, well, to be fair, the Lions were on a bye week too, so be aware of that. But, I'm just saying, the Vikings might catch them. And honestly, the past 2 weeks of Lions football, like that when they actually played, I was highly unimpressed with the Lions. They got absolutely curb stomped by the Ravens, and then they barely eked out a win due to field goals against the fucking Raiders. The Raiders are trash. How do you even let them give you a run for your money? But I think that what we're seeing with the Lions is the same thing I was just talking about with the Bills and the Dolphins. They can't hang with good teams. They beat the Chiefs by literally a singular point to start off the season with an injured AF Patrick Mahomes. They lost to the Seahawks. They crushed the Falcons. They beat the shit out of the Packers. They smashed the Panthers in the mouth. And they curb stomped the Buccaneers. And then they got destroyed by the Ravens. And they barely eked out a win against the Raiders. I feel like the Lions are a total glass tiger. Like, they have the same issue. An overall NFL thing that I've noticed this year is that every team fucking sucks. Like, like seriously. Even the Eagles. I love the Eagles. I think that the Eagles of last season would have absolutely curb stomped the Eagles of this season. Like, it's just, what is going on in the NFL, man? Everyone sucks. It's bizarre. But yeah, I just wanted to throw in some little binkus bonkus for Josh Dobbs really quick, because he really carried the game on his back. I mean, I know he was playing the Atlanta Falcons, but I think the Vikings are in road for a comeback. Feel bad about Kirk Cousins, though. That guy, he was really doing his best. But, yeah, I don't know. Is Joshua Dobbs going to make a deep playoff run with the Minnesota Vikings that started this year 0-3, Mark? Honestly, it would be a story for like decades to come to tell to everyone you know. But yeah, but in all actual seriousness, my next point that I actually want to spend some time on is going to be the Ravens. They have really demonstrated some chops this season. I think that they are definitely, without question, the best team in the AFC. If the season ended right now and I had to pick who's going to the Super Bowl, I would guess the Ravens against the Eagles. It would be a double bird bowl. However, I will say the Ravens are starting to, at least, show some really serious problems with getting the job done on offense. So I know they have impressive points totals every single game, but in this past week at least, almost every single point that they got came from a field goal. So really, really bizarre on that one. Yeah. Yeah, the defense for the Ravens showed up against the Seahawks this past week, but dude, they just kept getting field goals left, right, and center, and that was all of their points. It was really weird. Where is Lamar? Yeah, Lamar had only 187 yards passing and 60 yards rushing. So he really didn't do a whole lot of fucking anything. Some dude named Geno Stone got a pick. It's just very weird. But I think that raises some very serious concerns because, quite frankly, you can't really win in the postseason unless you can punch the ball into the end zone. You have to be able to punch the ball into the end zone. That's what everything's all about. And And that number of field goals alarms me. However, there is a silver lining. They are scoring points. I mean, the Ravens, you can never take that away from them. The past couple of games have been 37 points, 31 points, 38 points, 24 points. The Ravens are amazing, and they get better seemingly every single week. However, you got to clean up that red zone. I'm highly concerned. All right, you're up next, Marky.
A quick little note.
Oh boy.
It's time to pay some respect to the fallen teams of the season.
Oh boy. So the people who just have no chance, you mean?
Yeah, the
Patriots. All right.
These 4 teams just need to
press the reset.
Just look to the future. You said the Patriots? Yep.
Yeah, it's the Patriots for sure.
They're definitely one of them. Panthers, Bryce Young
Trash.
Bryce Young showed up against another rookie a little bit. But
nah, he's a fucking scrub.
Yeah. The Cardinals, thanks for beating Dallas. But
their only win.
You're 1-8
Poor
right
Dallas.
now.
Dallas sucks.
You're 1-8 right now, Arizona. This is not your season. And then
Dallas sucks.
And then the Giants.
Yeah, so I actually think that it's time to add some other teams to your list there. The Broncos, you're done. You're done. Sorry, bub. The Titans, you're done. Sorry, bub. But I actually have belief in the Bears. If the Bears win every game for the rest of the season, they'll finish an 11-win team, which could clinch their division. Just saying. I went from Bears op #1 to biggest Bears supporter on the planet in a matter of only like 4 weeks. I like rooting for the dudes that suck. What can I say?
Yeah. I mean,
it makes it easy. It's a good. Everybody loves a comeback story. I don't think it's actually going to happen, though. Don't get me wrong.
I mean,
what are their next games? Okay, well they're playing the Panthers tomorrow. That's going to be a potential win for the Bears. And then they get to lose to the Lions, lose to the Vikings, lose to the Lions, lose to the Browns, beat the Cardinals, beat the Falcons, and actually have a good game with the Packers. Yeah, they're fucked. Yeah, the Bears are fucked. Let's bury them before they rot.
It would be such
the Jets are fucked though.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I wanted this section to be for the absolutely fucked.
Yeah. Well, right now we're getting to a point now where you're gonna start seeing something really fun. Teams are going to be actively trying to tank so that they can get the king of quarterbacks coming into this draft. I think his name's Caleb Williamson. What? No, that's not his name. Fuck, what the hell is this kid's name? Let's see. Caleb Williams. No, I was totally right. That dude is gonna be fucking crazy. But he's about to pop off. He is definitely the best quarterback in the draft. Honestly, I don't even know who I would want him to go to. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. I just don't want him to go to the Cardinals. Fuck the Cardinals. Jesus Christ. I mean, the Panthers aren't going to draft him because they're going to give him an edge. Please don't let the Giants get him. Oh, anybody but them.
Yeah, I was
He's a
looking.
monster. He's a freak, dude.
I was looking at this, and the first mock draft that I saw said thinks that the Giants will trade up to pick him number 1.
Yeah, honestly, I would if I were them. I'd give up Daniel Jones. I'd give up Saquon Barkley. I'd give the house to make sure that I got that guy. And then I'd let him sit on the bench for a year and learn from some scrub I find somewhere in free agency who's like a washed up vet, have a shit season next year, and then stack the shit out of your O-line and wide receivers for 2 or 3 years from now and make a run for the championship or 2, 3, 4 years from now. They have no fucking chance right now of bouncing back. Daniel Jones is fucking horrible.
Yeah.
He's bad.
Now they gotta look to Danny DeVito.
Listen, bruh. I legitimately believe I could play better than Daniel Jones is right now. Like, seriously, he's just not good. He's really bad. He's so bad. God, in his full game that he played against the Dolphins, he threw 119 yards. And then in the game before that, he played against the Seahawks. He threw for 203 yards, 2 interceptions, 0 touchdowns. On the season, he's thrown 909 yards, 2 touchdowns total, and 6 picks.
So do you think that
Dump him.
Do you think that DeVito will score any points against Dallas this week?
He's out with a season-ending ACL injury.
DeVito.
Oh, the backup?
Yeah.
I thought you were just making fun of Daniel Jones and calling him Danny DeVito.
No.
I forgot this guy even exists. No, he's a fucking loser. No, this guy's some fucking bum.
Bro,
Can't be worse than Daniel Jones, though. Actually, the worst quarterback in football right now, I think. I would take some backups over Daniel Jones. Like Josh Dobbs, for example. I would take him any day of the week over Daniel Jones. But the thing is, dude, they paid Daniel Jones the fucking house, man.
Mm-hmm.
The actual house. Here, hold on. Let's find out what his contract is. Let me see. Contract. He's got a $25 million guarantee in his contract, 4 years.
Yeah.
Ah, Jesus Christ. Oh wait, no, hold on. That was his rookie contract. What's his contract now? Let's see. They gave him 160 mil.
Nice.
To do what? Throw interceptions? Dude, listen, I'll take 5 mil and do better than him. I swear. But yeah, he also has bonus incentives of 12 million per season for the next 4 years. Yeah. Of his $160 million contract, 92 million of it is guaranteed.
Very nice.
Dude. What the fuck? I really hope they fire their GM. Who the fuck gave him money? Terrible. Terrible. I hope he's the quarterback of the Giants forever. That's how bad he is. When the Eagles fans are telling you that they want somebody to be your quarterback and you're in the same division as them, get rid of them. It's time for them to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, so did you have anything else for that?
Nah, it's just...
Okay. I got one more point that I got to go over today. CJ Stroud is the hugest boom in the entire draft. It's not even close. I thought it was going to be Jalen Carter. CJ Stroud is actually a top pick. Like, this guy is a fucking monster. In this past game, the man had 470 yards passing, 5 touchdown passes, and had an 8-yard per play average. 8-yard per play. That is fucking crazy. It's just bizarre. He got sacked 3 times too. Had to punt 3 times. His team had to punt 3 times. 115 yards in penalties. And they lost a fumble. And he still threw for 470 yards.
Yeah.
It's just bizarre. I just... God damn, dude. The man is goated. He is... Is there a better rookie in the entire draft than C.J. Stroud?
No.
There's not. He's the best. He certainly makes Bryce Young look like a total fucking goober.
Yeah, he really does.
Honestly, I would really hate to be Bryce Young right now because he is not good. His touchdown to interception ratio on the entire season is 8 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. What the fuck? Bryce Young is only 5'10". I'm taller than Bryce Young. Dude. I don't know, man. I just wanted to give a little shout out to my man CJ Stroud before we got into the real conversation for the night. And that real conversation is what, Marcus?
Playoff predictions.
Yep, that's right. Who's going to the playoffs? So I'm going to do just AFC. Follow along with me. And then you're going to do AFC and we're going to talk about why you're wrong.
Okay.
So I think Dolphins, Chiefs, Ravens, Texans.
Okay.
What are yours?
I actually ordered them in the spots. Actually.
Oh, we'll just look at the AFC really quick and
No. I understand. I think the Ravens are going to be the number 1 seed.
Okay. For the whole AFC, you mean?
For the whole AFC.
Yeah, it's either going to be them or the Chiefs.
I think the 2nd seed will be the Chiefs, then Dolphins, and then Jags. I would be happy seeing Houston take their division.
Oh, the sweetheart story.
I would not be upset at that, but like
I think they're going to beat out the Jags.
Yeah, I just don't think that they're going to be any of the other competition in the conference.
Why? You don't think they're going to beat the Cardinals, the Broncos, the Jets, the Titans twice, and the Colts?
I mean like in the playoffs, in the postseason.
Oh, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about who wins the conference, like who has the best record going into the playoffs and wins the AFC, like clinches the AFC.
Yeah, I think that's Ravens.
Well, yeah, that's Ravens, obviously, but I'm talking about the division, like who clinches that division. Sorry, I used the wrong word.
Okay. I think, I mean, hey, if they win a lot of their next games, they could take it, but I think they may have fallen.
I think they lose to the Bengals here, though.
I think they've maybe fallen a little too much.
They're 4-4.
Yeah.
And they have an easy as fuck schedule for coming up here, whereas the Jaguars have the 49ers, Titans, Texans, Bengals, Browns, Buccaneers, Ravens, Panthers, Titans. So they got some scrub games in there, but they got some pretty tough opponents coming up, and the Texans just don't. And I just, as always, I have literally zero faith in the Jaguars doing anything ever.
I know.
And I shouldn't, because they never do. They are on a 5-win streak, though, so that's kind of something. But so something is interesting here. Mark, did you know if the season ended today, all 4 of the teams in the AFC North would go to the playoffs?
Yeah. Back to the matter.
So, Mark, did you know that if the season ended today, all 4 of the teams in the AFC North would go to the playoffs?
Yeah, I did.
And that would take up all the wild card slots in the AFC.
It would. It really would.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Yeah. You see, so what I think is going to happen is that unfortunately someone in the AFC North is going to fall out, giving a third wild card to the Bills.
I don't.
You don't?
No. I don't see how the Browns, Steelers, or Bengals lose more than the Bills do. Though I could see the Jaguars outperforming one of those teams and the Texans stealing a slot or vice versa. I could see either the Jags, Texans, or Chargers stealing the slot from the Bills. However, I really do think that the Steelers, Browns, and Bengals might take all 3 wildcard slots in the AFC this year. Because the Bills just can't beat good teams. They can't. They just can't do it. They don't have it in their bones. But yeah, so let's jump over to the NFC.
This I think is a lot more. It's going to be a lot simpler.
Yeah, the Eagles win their division. The Seahawks win their division. The Vikings win their division. And then who gives a fuck about the NFC South? I guess the Saints win their division.
Yeah. And then we have...
Maybe the Falcons. Who cares? It's the NFC South.
And then we have Dallas, Detroit, and San Francisco, the wild card.
Oh, God, I don't want fucking 49ers to come in on a wild card. Oh. Honestly, dude, can the Cowboys and Commanders steal the wild card slot from the 49ers?
I think Cowboys are definitely wild card.
Dude, if next week
schedule.
If next week the ratios are exactly the same, but the Seahawks would take the division, it would mean that the 49ers don't get in the playoffs. They wouldn't get a wild card. It would be Cowboys, Commanders, Vikings would get the wild card. And then the Seahawks would have won the division. And then they wouldn't even get to the playoffs. But no, in all seriousness, I think it's going to be Eagles, Seahawks, Vikings, Saints taking the divisions in the NFC. But I do think it's going to be Cowboys, Commanders, Lions for the wild cards. I think the 49ers don't even make the playoffs.
Let's see. Who do they play this weekend? Play the Jags. Play the Jags, and then they play Tampa.
Dude, the Seahawks are really in charge of their own destiny right now. Like, if the Seahawks can beat the 49ers twice this season, they're kind of taking it.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows if they will, but God damn, dude. The Seahawks' prayers rest on the Eagles' shoulders in Philadelphia that one week.
Let's see, so...
Seattle is going to be the biggest Philadelphia Eagles fans when they play the 49ers.
Go Birds.
Yeah. Double bird surprise. Drink out of the double bird bowl. But yeah, I think the NFC is much more straight up than the AFC is. But I'm going to be honest with you, I think every team in football this year is trash. They are. They're just not as good. It's almost to the point where they're just boring to watch. Because they don't do anything. Mm-hmm. Except CJ Stroud. He's great. I love that guy.
Alrighty then.
Yeah, I mean, seriously.
Do you have another point, or shall we do our
games? Let's do it. Yeah, let's do our power rankings. So for me, obviously the Eagles are the best team of football, and then the Ravens are the second best team of football. Hate to say it, man. Chiefs are third. Fuck them Chiefs. And then the Cowboys I would probably put in fourth. I put the Seahawks in fifth, the Lions in sixth, Vikings seventh, Steelers, Browns, Bengals tied for eighth. They're 8 through 10. And then I put the Jaguars. And then the Lions. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to go with. Poor Dolphins.
Yeah, I can't really argue with that. Like, if...
I mean, the Dolphins are lucky they're in the division they are. Let me put it to you that way.
Yeah.
Trash can. All right, so let's pick our games of the week. Bears and Panthers, of course. Best game of all time. This week doesn't really have all that many exciting games, in my opinion, to be completely honest.
I'm going to disagree. Actually.
Oh, okay. So Texans-Bengals.
I think there's going to be a very interesting game. I think the Browns... I mean, honestly, I do.
It is.
If CJ Stroud can pull...
They're going to have a complete shootout.
Yeah.
Joe Cool is going to come out launching.
I think Browns and Ravens going to be very interesting.
Ravens are going to stomp them. Come on, injure Lamar. I don't want to play him in the Super Bowl.
And then I have the two games I want to watch, but are very much not going to be good games one way or another.
Bears, Panthers.
No. 49ers and Jaguars.
Oh.
I want to watch that to see if the bye managed to fix the problem. Because it's going to be real fucking funny if it didn't.
I don't have any interest in that game at all. They're both terrible.
And then, honestly,
don't.
The Broncos and...
I hate you so fucking much. Broncos country, let's ride.
That's right.
It's been a running joke in for me and Mark where we'll just say random bullshit. Broncos country, let's ride. Fucking Russell Wilson. Honestly, dude, I really think that the Broncos would do well to pick up Caleb Williams. I think he'd do really well in their system.
Please.
And that's exactly why I don't want them to fucking get him.
Please beat the Bills.
Every league has to have trash can franchises. In this case, it's the Broncos and the Bears. And the Panthers. And the Cardinals. And every other team in football this year. But no, seriously. I have really high hopes for the Seahawks this year. The Seahawks and the Lions have really surprised me. Mm-hmm. I expected the Seahawks to be trash. Here, let me pull out my spreadsheet really quick. What do I have the Lions at? Oh, I have them at 11 wins, and I have the Seahawks at 9 or 10 wins. Both of them I had taken their division. So, I guess it's not as much of a surprise as it is I bet against everyone else and won. God damn, dude. My prediction for the NFC East is looking a little bit scary accurate. I don't like it. I kind of called it, honestly. Though the Chargers are really letting me down here. Dude, you know what I don't know? Because I've never had the chance to cheer for a team that is so ridiculously garbage you can barely watch them. How the fuck do Cardinals fans get excited for the team? I'm not kidding. This is an actual question to all of the Cardinals fans out there. Is it just still fun because you bet on them being terrible, like with your money, and then win every week? Like, is that... Like, do you just bet against your own team every week and win money? Is that what's keeping it entertaining for you? Why do Cardinals fans keep watching?
I don't know, man.
Like, not to be an asshole, but why are Panthers fans watching? I don't understand. Like, how are they selling tickets? Who the fuck is paying $175 to go and watch the Panthers play a football game? They're god awful. What are they talking about on their radio shows? They're just like, dude, they're probably talking about fucking baseball at those radio stations. Like, dude, I find it hard to believe that anybody in those two places gives a flying fuck about their football team right now. It's just so hard to drum up excitement for a team that you know is going to be garbage. I wouldn't know though. Ha ha. God damn, I'm fucking at it with the zingers. But yeah. So did you have anything else, Marky?
No.
Oh wait, I didn't pick my games of the week. What am I doing? I'm gonna say Texans Bengals. I think that's definitely the case. But I will say, Bears Panthers is a must watch. I love garbage. Like, trash football is good football. Whenever I'm watching a football game and I feel like I could actually suit up for either team and actually make a difference, you know you're watching good football. God damn, dude, the Panthers and Bears are terrible. All right. Did you have anything else for tonight, Marcus?
No, I'm good.
I feel you. I'm done too. So remember, hit that follow button, hit the subscribe button. Check us out on all of the platforms where you can get your podcast: Spotify, YouTube, all of them. And yeah, we'll see you again next week. Have a nice week, guys, and go Birds. Dallas sucks. Fuck the 49ers. Bye, everybody.